Hey traders. Oh gosh, that's a lot of Raghee. Hey traders, welcome to the very last charts and coffee for 2022. Great to see everyone. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy end of quarter, end of year, full on shenanigans, a trading session. Let me put this out there before we even get into any questions and analysis. The last trading day of the quarter is my absolute non-negotiable do not day trade day. I will not day trade on this day. There's 3 days that I won't day trade after the bell. Non-farm payroll, options expiration, and end of quarter. And that's because when I look back, and I hope everyone does this, we've talked a lot about that throughout this year here in Charts and Coffee. And that is if you are looking simply at the balance in your trading account, that's really not there's better ways to do it. And that is take the individual trades that you're taking, intraday, end of day, whatever it is, and look at times of day in terms of wins and losses, symbols in terms of wins and losses, even the day of the month in terms of wins and losses. And you will absolutely, when you've got 3, 6, 12 months of data, your trading behavior data, your results, you will see patterns emerge. It's inevitable. You will see patterns emerge. And when you see those patterns, you can absolutely course correct. Hey, these certain days are really great for me. I know that's where I want to put a lot of emphasis. And these trading days are days that I need to avoid. End of quarter is definitely one for me. So with that being said, find out your do not trade days, right? Today, we have a Chicago PMI at 945, and that's really the sum total of hot zones that will be coming out today. And in the meanwhile, let's talk about what we have going on in the broader averages. Santa, did he show? Well, technically, Santa's got today and the first 2 trading days of the year to do anything. However, remember, gang, this may not be a buy everything environment. This may not be the kind of environment where everything benefits. We've dealt with years past a little bit of that. But let's ask ourselves, are there corners of the market that are stronger than others? And that is continually where we are focusing on in terms of watch list building in the futures room and in my sector secrets mastery. RTX. By the way, Trish and I just cut a video on 5 symbols that I'll be looking at going into the new year and why. And that will be released, I believe, next week, probably next Tuesday or Friday. And I'm also going to discuss bottom picking season, because as we go into 2023, as we go into January and February, what we're going to have is an opportunity to take advantage of money managers and their first of the year clean slate. And when names like Apple, it's too soon, but when and what I'm looking for buying opportunities in names like Apple and Tesla, because it's not yet. It's not yet. Soon it looks to be, but not yet. All right. So with that being said, shout out to our free trading room as well. If y'all have any questions, let me know, and let's go ahead and dive into those. All right. First up, Gordon asks how to set a trailing stop. So Gordon, I do not use the trailing stop function of, say, the Thinkorswim platform that you're looking at right here. I do not use that function, which is to say that if I'm long and I want to put in a trailing stop, I'll actually use a stop order, and that will be a sell stop. I'll pick a price and I'll put in a sell stop at that level. And if it's a trailing stop, the presumption is that we are protecting a certain amount of unrealized profit. That's all that a trailing stop means to me, that I'm protecting a certain amount of unrealized profit. It's no longer a risk-based stop. It's no longer a break-even stop. Now I'm going to capture some of the profit that the trade has. Not all of it, but some of it. And so I'll use a stop order for that. There are trailing stop functions within a lot of platforms that allow you to trail by a percentage or dollar amount or so forth, point amount. I don't use those. So how I do it, it's a stop order. It's a stop order. All right, next up. Good morning. Good morning. Great to see everyone. Absolutely. All right, Frank. Good morning. In my mastery, do I have videos saved there of where to start as a beginner trader, or is it all live videos only? Frank, when we first started the Sector Secrets Mastery, I guess a little over 2 years ago, one of the things that we did was we really, well, Trish, I got to give her credit. She took a long time curating bite-sized videos to help someone get up to speed with the way that I trade. Now, in terms of beginner, I don't know necessarily what that means to each of us, right? To me, a beginner is someone who's never put on a trade before, may not really be up to speed on chart analysis and basic lingo like support and resistance, or limit orders, stop orders, market orders, those kinds of things. Do I address those from time to time? I do. I do. But what we try to do is not try to teach everyone this encyclopedic kitchen sink approach to trading, but rather the tools and the lingo and the benefits of doing the things the way I do. So we have a much more focused approach to anyone. And I kind of, one of the things that Trish has built into the mastery is sort of treating everyone as a beginner's eyes, right, are the most powerful, right? Your brain's wide open, you're open to new information, and just presuming that a lot of people have never traded using my tools and my approach before, which oftentimes is the case. So we try to address those basics from the standpoint of getting you fluent in what we do in the room. Again, not a kitchen sink approach, but a focused approach of what I've been doing for 30 years that works for me. So I hope that answers the question. And then on top of that, we have live videos. On top of that, we have Ask Me Anything sessions that I do on Friday and text sessions that the bot does every Monday, so that those sort of sticking points of the tech, sticking points of general questions are addressed every single week. Thanks for the question. All right, next up, Phil asks, yesterday's HPMR update seems to be broken. The update we have right now is from the 15th of this month. Phil, I don't think we have a brand new one. But as far as TradingView goes, I'm going to defer to Bot because she is on it. And yeah, I'm actually slacking her, Phil, right now because I'm asking her how she wants me to address it. Because the truth of the matter is, the code is fine. There is an issue, from what I gather. There's a bug, possibly. So see, talking about the push, it's not broken, but it won't work if you don't have the data. Right. Okay. So the push is working, but it won't work if you don't have the data. And there is simultaneously a bug in TradingView, but it will work when the market is open. It will work when the market is open. You do need the data. It depends on the symbol, right? You do need the data. So I'm actually talking to Bot right now, and that is what she is reporting back. Well, let me do this because, let's go to TradingView and let's go to the 5-minute chart. And I'm pulling up the S&P, and let me go ahead and pull up the futures. So you can see there, it is working. It is there and working. There's the hourly price movement ranges, but you do need the data. So there are the hourly price movement ranges right there on the S&P. But if I pull up something like Apple, remember, you need the data for it to start to populate. And yeah, it is working though. It is working. And I use the same versions you all are using. This is the premium, but I do use the same versions that you all are using. So it is working from what I can tell on my setup, and I'm using the same stuff. Lorna Bot pushes these indicators out to me as well. All right, next up is, I think, your ultimate day trading class 2 years ago. Cool. Thank you, Captain Jane. Do I still use the clearing range breach retreat? Great question. Thank you for asking. The simple answer is not as much. Am I aware of breaches? Absolutely. We want to be aware of clearing range breaches, initial balance breaches, right? And ultimately, what we want to remember is that it does give us some insight into the way in which there's momentum and maybe some sentiment, bullish or bearish, right? But breach retreats work better when the daily time frame has a clear trend, preferably up, but down is fine too. But breach retreats work better when the overall trend is intact. And we haven't really had that for any extended period of time throughout 2022. So the simple answer is not until the daily suggests the probability of that setup is better. And that's it. So the meanwhile, we have plenty of other setups that we can use, whether that be our HPMRs, whether that be our V scores, whether that be um, our surf the waves. Those are all things that we can continue to use just to breach retreat sort of on the back burner, not ignored, but not necessarily adhered to as closely. All right, next question is, good morning. Even though I'm not trading today, do I plan to do market overview? Yes, I sent out Trader Momo. I sent out an alert on Tuesday. I will be with you all from 9:20 to 10:35 this morning, and we'll do a morning Ask Me Anything session. You bet, absolutely. All right. Okay, next up is 403. I was trying to sign up to learn my methodology. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what I needed. The sector sequence doesn't include my indicator and process. Well, 403, there's a number of indicators that are in the room drive. So once you're a member, inside the room drive, I give traders a layout that will help them with the process that I teach. Are there premium indicators? Yes. Do you need them on day one or even month one or even quarter one of your time in the sector secrets mastery? You do not. You do not. So, what path do I recommend? You know, it's really if you're interested in an immersion, I would say the mastery is the way to go for anyone that you're looking to learn from here. It's simpler. If you're looking for a singular focused immersion, I would say, depending on who you want to learn from, the masteries are definitely the best way to go. Now, contrasting that is if you're looking for more of a broader view of multiple trading styles because you want to see maybe which one is right for you. That's where the simpler futures room or a simpler options room or even our day trading room would be a good choice. But if you're looking, you said, Rob, sign me up. Yeah, the mastery is absolutely going to be, frankly, your best bang for the buck. And because you're spending at that point 90, 90 days, a quarter, 5 days a week with me. And if that's what's like, Rod, yes, that's where I want to be fluent. That's the immersion I want. That is the immersion you're going to get. Absolutely. We have a very active room. I think at any given time, 9:30 to 4, we have anywhere from 200 or 300 people actively scanning the market together. So it's a great community in there. Thank you for the question, 403. Fernando, good morning. When buying options for day trading, how much time do I buy? Fernando, as little time as possible. With the advent of zero days to expiration, in a number of symbols, QQQ and SPX and SPY, etc. We don't have to pay for time. We simply don't need because we're going to close the trade out by, for me, 3:50 p.m. Eastern at the latest. And ultimately, what we want to remember is when buying options for day trading, make sure whatever that shortened time to expiration is, maybe it's today, maybe it's tomorrow, make sure there's liquidity at that price level. Okay. When I day trade, it's the first hour in the morning. Mr. Walker, I prefer 9:20 to 10:35 or 9:20 to 11:20. That's about the window of time that I spend with the traders, either in the Sector Secrets Mastery or in the futures room Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, next up, let's see. Praveen says the HPMR is not working on toss. Gang, all I can go by, and Praveen, it actually is. I was looking at it this morning. So maybe restart. I mean, there it is. Again, it's kind of irritating. I get it. Rog, I can't get it working on mine. So the indicator is working just fine. However, maybe restart the platform, make sure it's active. But I mean, there it is on Thinkorswim. And again, I'm using the same exact versions of the indicator that you are. I don't know what the issue is, but I know at Toss, a couple of things help me when I have an indicator that's acting up. Number one, and you all know that I can't troubleshoot in charts of coffee, right? But I definitely, Lorna Bot and I will take note of that. But take a look at NASDAQ, take a look at crude. There it is, up and running. I like to restart my toss at least once or twice a day, and I will do a restart of my computer at least once a day. And I find that seems to keep toss and the indicators that we love to run on it working well, working smoothly. All right, next up is so yeah, those of you that are wondering, Rod, what's working, what's not, look at my screen. If it's running on my screen, it's most definitely working. All right, next up, no trigger, no trade means for trend trades that I limit the buy at the wave levels. Am I right? Correct. But you got almost all of it perfect, Stone Castle. What I would add also, right? No trigger, no trade. Well, that's no trigger, no trade is just for everything, right? If we don't reach the price trigger, there is no trade entry. That's all that that means, right? We don't reach the price entry, there is no trade entry. Now, what's interesting about trend trades, and that takes me over to the tops tools. Nothing identifies the underlying market trend better than tops, right? The tops system is designed to do one thing really well. And it's the one thing every trader needs to know. What is the market structure that I'm trading in? Up, down, chop, narrow chop, wide chop, right? That's what tops was designed to do. And then even better than that, tops is the ultimate trend following system. And for those of you thinking, Rod, if we're going to see trends into 2023, what do I want to use? What's the layout that I want to use? Multi-trend, wave, grab, propulsion, and Darvis. And that's the tops system. So the thing that comes before that, Stone Castle, is there a trend? So if I look at RTX through tops, there's a trend. Do you see that? Green grab candles sitting above the wave, sitting above the propulsion. These are all part of that layout. And then I've got the multi-trend. For those of you that are not familiar with the tops process, this is something that you'll see on every single one of my charts. V-score still works with tops. HPMRs, you'll see I still have the grab candles and the Darvis and the propulsion and the wave. So it's the foundation for everything that I do. If you want to, I know it seems like it's way far out. For me, it's right around the corner because we're already working on it. And if you want to go ahead and pencil in on your calendars, your 2023 journals and planners, we have our tops masterclass coming out in the first week of March. So we'll be talking a lot more about the tops masterclass in February, which I'll tell you what, it's going to be here before we know it. And then we'll be doing our full masterclass early March. I think it's March. That's a good question. When is it? March 4. March 4. So start with the trend. If the trend is up or down, absolutely, we can use those limit orders at the wave. You got it. You got it. All right. Next up, what are the advantages to use a Darvis versus the 2? Oh, so John, Darvis 3.0 is what we call Darvis signals, and it identifies those minor high and minor low turning points that are part of the pattern. So it adds that one dimension. Look, if you want that one extra dimension on there, I use minor highs and minor lows a lot. Great. Darvis 3.0 will not disappoint. But you're thinking, Rod, I'm not really sure that I am at the point where I'm looking at those levels. Continue to use Darvis 2.0. A lot of traders will find that after anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe 6 months of using Darvis 2.0, they've found it becomes such an integral part of their approach that it's just a natural progression to move to the 3.0. But really, the 2.0 is fantastic. It's just without those arrows, these signals that show me these minor high, minor low turning points. Okay. So thank you for the question. We give away a lot of the free tools, not because they're lesser. They're very powerful. In fact, the free version of the tools is what I use for probably the first decade or so of my career. But then as I'm able to automate more and more, as I'm able to point out more and more and make it easier for traders to find other levels that I'm watching that maybe after 30 years, I can see a little bit more naturally and automatically, to ease that learning curve, the more that I can automate in terms of signals and levels, I find that the learning curve becomes easier for traders following my process. So automation's been a big part of my focus over the past 10 years easily. Not necessarily new indicators, but automating things that I've been doing for 1, 2, 3 decades. So thank you for the question. Hey there, NQ, just started watching last night. What system is being used on the charts, plots, arrows, lines, etc.? Um, is my tops system. Most of that is the top system. I have some premium tools like my hourly price movement range. Can I use it on NinjaTrader? No. I support two platforms, NQ. Nothing against NinjaTrader or many of the other platforms out there, but at some point, there's only so many platforms that personally I can support. And I focus on TradingView, love that platform, and Thinkorswim, which is the most popular platform here at Simpler. Okay. All right. Hey there, Al. No questions today for me, just listening. Have a happy new year. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Al. Kathy, no, thanks for helping John out. I think they're great, but it's great for other folks to hear from the traders in the room saying, no, this is a needle mover for me. Are they using symbols contained in the HPMR? Edwards, I'm not sure what that question was referring to. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what the reference for that question was. Um, Phil said, I did a restart and the HPMRs are working now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And last question for the morning, Furman. When day trading, do you take into account volume and open interest? For the options that I'm trading, I will consider open interest. Yes, I am going to consider open interest. And should there be somewhat of an even open interest? No, I don't really care, but I'm just looking for liquidity, Furman, right? I'm not looking for something that's more associated with maybe the way that we might determine what a pin level might be, where there's more eyes on the market at a certain price level, which is valuable to your point. However, what I also want to be aware of is I just need liquidity. And for me, it's a minimum of 500 open interest, preferably 1,000. But volume isn't as important because, frankly, I don't trade illiquid names. We don't trade meme stocks. We don't trade illiquid stocks. We don't trade illiquid options. So volume's never really an issue in that regard. All right. So, gang, I think I'm out of time. So, my Sector Secrets Mastery folks, I will see you all in just a moment. We're going to do our Q&A this morning for the next hour. So whatever questions you have, whatever symbols, questions about indicator settings. Gang, this is something we do every week. The bot and I have sessions that are tech-oriented for an hour. We have an hour Ask Me Anything. We just happen to be moving it up to the top of the day because I'm not going to be actively trading on the last day of the year. All right, gang. Thank you so much for being a part of Charts and Coffee. We've been doing this for over 2 years now, and I appreciate y'all caffeinating and dominating with me each and every morning. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for being part of the crew. I will see you all, I know, next year. I know, we're going to do that. Oh, see you next year. Yes, that's what we get to do now. Clean slate, fresh eyes. Looking forward to it with you all. Be good to each other.